Hi, welcome to Genesis Engineers Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss on discharge measuring devices called Venturi meter. So it is a device used to measure the flow using a theoretical formula. In this entire part is called Venturi meter. So this part is assembled between two pipes. So the pipe length may be longer. So the Venturi meter initially primarily consists of a converging cone, throat and diverging cone. Converging cone, throat, diverging cone. Together we call it as Venturi, and these thick lines shows it's a flange attached to both the pipe and as well as this part of Venturi, and this is also another part, this is also another part. These three parts are connected with the flanges called pipe flanges. Next, so this is a U-tube manometer. You can also call it differential U-tube manometer. So that gives the difference of pressure. So that gives the pressure difference. So this is called pressure head. But more important thing is it is a converging one. It is though it looks length is more than diameter, but generally the length of this throat and this diameter equals, and this is a diverging cone. So this is angle is external angle, or you can also say that the angle of the diverging cone is very small when compared to converging. It's a fast converging, it is a long diverging, you can also say. So the angle of this one will be around 21 degrees approximately, and it is around 10 degrees, that is called average angle. So you can start your angle of convergence 1923. Only difference is 4 degrees and it is difference is 10 degrees. But if you take the average of this one, it is 10 and it is 21. You can take that average. One more thing, this is diameter of the pipe to which you are joining this Venturi meter. So this diameter and this is the diameter of the throat. It plays an important role. I will explain. So this D and D related. So D by D is varies between 1 by 4 to 3 by 4. That is 0.225 to 0.23. That is 75. So this is the difference here. And in this manometer we use mercury, and its specific gravity is 13.6, and the flow water or some other fluid is flowing through this Venturi meter. Our task is to measure the flow, approximate flow. Okay, so you can also correct it if anything error comes into picture. Okay, so this I can call inlet, this is called outlet, it passes through Venturi meter. Sometimes it is called upstream, and whichever enters, this is called downstream. Okay, so this is the manometer, also called divergent, that is a differential pressure head measuring manometer. So the manometer is one which is used to measure the pressure difference and single pressure for that matter. Okay, so here, and one more thing I have to tell you, that this throat diameter is and its height or otherwise diameter and length. Suppose the pipe is like this one, throat, its length is also d and its diameter is also d, but d varies between, that is d by d varies between 1 by 4. That means you have to reduce the diameter, minimum is 1/4. That is, if the 4 times diameter, that is one part is throat diameter. If 4 is that, you can take the 3 parts. Like that you can also assume. Suppose if d is equal to 100, small d will be 25 or 75. So in between you can take based on the efficiency of this Venturi meter. And this Venturi meter basically depends on Bernoulli's principle. So where the total energy of the system is constant, that the Bernoulli's principle depends upon the law of conservation of energy. So it changes from potential energy to kinetic energy or kinetic energy into pressure energy, like that. Okay, so you have to take this center of line as a reference. From that you can take that is called datum head. Okay, and how I use this Bernoulli's principle to measure this one theoretically. So this is another thing. So I am concentrating only on 2 parts. So Bernoulli's principle is always applies between 2 points. That is of your own interest. Here I am taking that the velocity of the fluid, here is velocity, that is V, this is the pressure. So we mainly concentrate on pressure and velocity. So these going to exchange their energies. And this is the converging part. And if you observe this one, it is a tapering one. So you can apply the law of that is conservation of mass or continuity equation. Here the fluid flowing is the same. That is why you can use like this constant. This is law of conservation of mass, also continuity equation. As the density is the same as the fluid is same, now I can omit that one. I can put like this one, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. 1 is one section, 2 is the another, that is called second section. So the second section I have used the throat. So here, as the velocity may change as per this one, that is the initial diameter here, you can also apply here. So you observe this one, this is the velocity V1. Okay, so it passes out, that is V2. Pressure is P1 and it also passes, that is 2. So A1 V1. So the area at 2 section is decreasing. So in order to maintain this value constant, if area is decreasing, the velocity increases. Okay. What happens to when velocity increases? What is the status of the pressure? Can we find that? Yes, you can find that using our Bernoulli's principle. Okay, so I will redraw that. So this is the converging part. Okay, so I take this as section 1 and this is the throat. You can take anywhere or otherwise you can take it is section 2. What is Bernoulli's equation gives us? That is pressure head, that is P by gamma, that is velocity. Next one is velocity head. that is V square by 2G. The next one is that is datum head. Pressure head, velocity head, datum head is constant. That is Bernoulli's equation. This formula must be applied to this section 1. When this is applied to section 1, so this equation becomes P1 by gamma plus V1 square by 2G plus Z1 is equal to, this is section 1. And the same thing has to be applied section 2 also, that is P2 by gamma V2 square by 2G plus Z2. Okay, in this way you can apply the Bernoulli's equation. So now if I wanted to apply that, where is Z? Z is not there. Here the velocity is V1, pressure is P1. Here the velocity is V2 and pressure is P2. In this section, at this junction, okay, so this is, so V1 is somewhat lesser than this one. Why? Because here the area is A1 and here area is A2. These two are same because the diameter is same, uniform. That is why velocity remains constant. This or this. Okay, so that is, I have found that V2 is greater than V1. Okay, so what happens to this pressure? What is the status of the P1 and P2? Is pressure increases or decreases? Okay, how do you know that? Using Bernoulli's principle. Okay, so now before doing that one, so I have to take one more thing, that is, whenever you wanted to apply this principle, you have to take, okay, and this is Venturi, converging part, throat, and this is diverging part. So I have to take the same reference for all these things, and this is applied. This is the centroidal axis of this one. So if apply here, you got my point. So this is or otherwise I can use this pipe of this one, and this is another pipe added to that. So I have to use this for hollow. Okay, now I have applied. So this is section 1. Okay, and this is section 2. This section 2 can also be applied here, but instead of that I have taken this one. Same. So from this point to center to this reference. Okay, any floor you can take, any building floor, anything you can take as is horizontal. So this is Z1, that is the elevation or otherwise called as a datum head. At this point, if I draw a vertical line, this may be Z2. Since this axis and this is parallel, so Z1 is equal to Z2. If I write the equation once again, P1 by gamma plus V1 square by 2G plus Z1 is equal to P2 by gamma plus V2 square by 2G plus Z2 is equal to, since Z1 is equal to Z2, I can make cancel. So now, okay, what happens to this one? So this P1 by gamma plus V1 square by 2G is equal to P2 by gamma plus V2 square by 2G. Okay, so V2 is more because the area is converging. I have taken from the converging part and the throat. So throat is the point where it comes to some laminar flow, like, and here the disturbance is there because of the eddies. Okay, so since it lost something, V1 is decreased. So P1 is there. In this system, V2 is increased. So the P2 must be decreased. You understand? So these are the initial values, And what happens to this P2? V2 is increased, no. So this is increased. So to balance this, whatever it has got, that is increment, has to be here sacrificed. That is, here we got this velocity increase, that means kinetic energy is increased. So the pressure energy must be decreased. If that is the case, if V2 is greater than V1, then P2 is less than P1. Okay, so that is shown here. So P1 is greater than P2. That I will explain from this diagram. What is that? So here this is the pressure P1 and here the pressure is P2. Since P2 is lesser and it moves, since the fluid has got, that is moves to lower potential, that is lower pressure. Since it is more pressure, it applies the pressure and the mercury column will come down and this side will go up. Because so in order to measure this one, we have designed this thing to that velocity is increased by decreasing the area. Okay, if pressure is here, say, and I will explain again once again. If I put this Venturi meter, that is mercury or otherwise manometer, here I take this as the 1 and take the 2, and here P1 is something, P2 is something. So this P1, P2 are same. In this case, the mercury will show same pressure at same level. So there is no difference, there is no H. Okay, so this difference of pressure must be arranged. That is why we have designed this as a converging, that velocity is increased, thereby pressure decreases. Because the pressure is decreased and this is moves to up, thereby we get this H. Okay, so until we design like this one, the pressures is, the columns will be like that, you can say, are in between. So initially it is, so this amount is going down and this part is go up. You got my point? So that is the thing you have to understand in Venturi meter. And most of the questions comes that is from the dimensions of also. Just now I have told you, that is the ratio of the throat to and ratio of the, that is the diameter must be between 1/4 to 3/4. You can change based on that. And this is angle is very this one, and it is more or less it is around 10. And if you observe this one, this length of this diverging cone is bigger than this one. There will be questions on this topic like that also. The length of the converging cone is shorter than this one. Then how much this? It is around 70. Very lengthy one than this one. Okay, so you have to remember this also. And these things are flanges through which it is connected, diverging part, throat and converging part. Okay, that's all about this, and we will derive the equation for Venturi meter. So for diploma holders, the derivation is not needed, but don't do that, but you learn this derivation so that you will become mass expert of that. So this same thing I have given to you. Okay, this is throat diameter is equal to throat length, and this Venturi meter is based on Bernoulli's principle or otherwise Bernoulli's equation. Next one is, this is I have told you, as Z1 is equal to Z2, and this is the same reference. You can take, that is just now I have explained, this is Z1 at point 1 and this is Z2. Since it is horizontal, Z1 is equal to Z2. That is, if there is a difference, you have to put like that and you are going to get this same thing. So it doesn't depend upon the elevation. Okay, it all depends upon the geometry of this cone, that is converging cone and diverging cone, and the diameter of the throat also. Now I have brought all the things, pressure items in the left side. This pressure difference between pipe and throat, this is the difference between pipe and throat. So pipe final point is cone, the converging cone starting point. Starting point of throat is ending point of the converging cone. So you can say that is the difference between these 2 points. That is the H. In the figure I have shown like this one. So this H is equal to V2 square minus V1 square by 2G, if I take the LCM 2G. Okay, I know that the continuity equation can be applied. That is A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. So this V2 or V1, I have to replace that to V1. V1 is equal to A2 by A1 into V2. Am I right? I have to replace V2 or V1 by V2 or anything you can do. Okay, so in this case I replace V1 and this H becomes like this. I take this 2G outside and V2 square minus V1 square is equal to A2 by A1 whole square into V2 square. If I take that outside, V2 square by 2G is equal to A1 square, A2 square by A1 square. Am I right? Are you following me? Right. Now, what is V2? From this, V2 is equal to A1 by A1 square minus A2 square under root into 2GH. So I know that's V2. I can find the Q is equal to A2 V2. Since I know the A2, I have taken V2. Okay, so this is multiplied or otherwise simply small letter, and this Q is equal to A1 A2 by A1 square minus A2 square under root into 2GH. This is known, must be known. So this is the gravity, that is a geometrical point, and this is the velocity or difference of this pressure. Okay. So the discharge is obtained from this formula can be called as Q theoretical. So whenever you use the formula, can be called as a theoretical. So that theoretical discharge is this. So this I can name this as theoretical. But what is actual? So actual is originally found using a vessel. So if you start collecting the fluid or water or liquid, and if you follow the stopwatch, so for 5 minutes how much of water you have collected. So from that you can find out it is 10 liters per minute, like that. So this is actual discharge. So what is the difference of these two? How do you know? That the new term comes that we call it as coefficient of discharge. So you can also, if this one actual is equal to CD into theoretical. Okay, you have to multiply with the coefficient of discharge. Then CD is equal to Q actual by Q theoretical. You can find out. So using this formula, you find out this one. Using this practical way of collecting or measuring the fluid. So if you compare these two and find out the CD, in the other things you cannot find. But you know the coefficient of discharge. So the coefficient of discharge is defined as the ratio of theoretical actual discharge by theoretical discharge. Okay, so that is you have to understood. So this is the formula I have just multiplied. For venturimeter, this CD varies between 0.95 to 0.99. That means, what did you understood? The CD is equal to Q actual by Q theoretical. So if TD is there, so Q actual can be, if it is 0.99, means it is almost 1. That means if you know that one, so this is most efficient device to measure the discharge. So there may be questions in competitive like APPSC and SSC or authorized gate exams. What is the value of this coefficient of discharge? Varies. Of venturimeter, it is 0.95 to 0.99, or in between also you can take average of that one. Okay, so 0.97 is also average of this one. So that's all. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to comment on this video.